Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So as many of you guys know, I've done my whole Shorty McShorties segment, and I decided to break down and show how to make this cool dwarf that I came up with. So let's go ahead and take a look at these two figures right here that we're going to use to make this dwarf. And the idea is to make a figure that fits with classics. So that's the whole purpose and point of this. So first I have Snake Armor He-Man. And he's a pretty cool figure. I'm not going to go through all the details on him because I have a whole another video just covering all of his coolness and awesomeness of this figure. And it's kind of a fun figure. We're going to open him right up. We're just going to toss the rest aside. And then I have Goldberg, human heroic jackhammer, hammer. He's kind of like the Ram Man version for WWE. Really cool figure. Let's go ahead and open him up as well. And let's see if we can't get this figure made. Alright, so during my first Shorty McShorties video, I had some issues with trying to figure out exactly how to make this work. So this is a more succinct video of how to make your dwarf. Nope. So let's first get him out of here. Get him out of here. And for this figure, we're just going to need a couple things. Cut. I want his helmet. I want his battle axe, or his axe. The axe of justice. Hold on a second. That was funny. I accidentally threw the axe away instead of the garbage away. Alright. So I want his head. I want his armor. I know it comes off, but I like just to slide it off. That way I don't have to accidentally mess with the hot water and trying to get it to work and stuff. Oh well. I may have to take it apart anyway. Come apart. Such a tight fit. Okay, I guess I'll undo this side here. There we go. Alright. Now, I could also grab these armbands, which would be cool to use, but in my original design I didn't have that, so I'm not going to do it this time. So here's what you need from that figure. From this figure here, we're going to take a whole lot more. So we need his legs, and we need his, we don't need his head, so we'll pull that off and set it aside. I guess I could stick the head on here. Huh. And we don't want the armor. No need for the armor. We also don't want the little arm piece. Yeah. And to get the armor off, you just pull his arm off. We'll stick this armor on while we're at it. Dun-da-da. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Dun 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 dun. Now that is one cool looking dwarf figure that we have left over. Now, of course, leftover parts here We got the battle armor, which I have no purpose for. We'll just throw all the extra stuff on this side just to be funny. You get the leftovers. There we go. Oops. Now we got a leftover parts man. Which these leftover parts man are becoming kind of weird. This one's not too bad. It's not horrible. I mean, the weirdest leftover parts man I have here is this one here. He's kind of a strange leftover parts man. But for this guy, he's not too bad. But anyway, let's set him aside. We have our dwarf. There he is. The next step now is the paint. Because we want it to match this aesthetic. First thing I did is I went and put a matte finish on all of the silver parts so I can put a nice dark wash on it. Alright, so let's get a small cup here. And we need a little bit of water. Just a little bit. We're talking just like a drop or two, just to offset how thick the black is by itself. So to do this, I first pour it into the lid, and then I try to get just a drop or two. There we go. From the lid. So you can see, not much in there at all. So let's go ahead and just do that. Let's do this thing. See, I just add 2 drops in here, a 1, a 2, just for a real light wash. And then I want a really broad brush to do this. And look at that, just sucked up all the black right away. And we're just going to go ahead and just put this on here. And we're going to keep smearing it on there until it does not look quite so bad. Basically, once you get all the bubbles out of it, it will make it so it looks a little smoother. Oop, oop, oop. And just give it that little bit of detail we're looking for. See, it's starting to make the chains kind of pop out a little bit and some of the other details. So it's not a lot, it's just a little bit of detailing just to give it that kind of more classicized look to it. Now, if I did not put the clear coat on first, this wouldn't even adhere at all. It would just be slapping all over the place. And again, you just want to use a little bit. If you use a lot, it's going to make just black streaks all over. It's going to look horrible. So you want just a little bit just to catch some of the details in the sculpt. That's all we're going for. That's looking really good. All right, so not a lot, just a little detail. And you can see already the difference between the two of them. Just adding that little bit of black wash on there just makes it look really good. I'm going to go ahead and turn my fan on now. And let's go ahead and dry this. Turn on my gun of hotness. And it's just crazy. It's that little bit just makes all the difference in the world to give it that just slight little detail. And it brings the shine back out through the matte finish too. Thanks, Timu. I appreciate it. All right, let's move on to his leg armor now. And let's take a look here. Now, there is some things you could do to colorize this a little bit. Like you could take and put green over these areas here or something before you put the black wash on. I think I might do that. I think I might paint the ribbons on here. Ribbons of green. Let me go and grab some green out of here. I'll take this darker one. Now, I have this whole kit that's nothing but greens. So you can see all the different greens we have here. And I'm guessing I like this one here, the Gothic green, so forget this one. I don't want it to look too weird. I want it to actually kind of match. So let's go ahead and go with... Now, I didn't put a link to this one, but once you click the links I have, you can quickly search for these. And let's see, we want Goblin Green. And Goblin Green. Look at that. First one out of the batch. Now, what I bought all these greens for was so I could paint my my Cringer head. I knew I needed a lot of different greens in order to do this right. Come on and shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Oh, come on and shake a little closer now. Shake a little closer. Alright. As you can tell, I bought these a little while ago, so... Now for this, I'm going to turn my fan off. And I'm just going to use a lid as opposed to a cup this time. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the lid. I'm going to get a little more detailed brush for some of this stuff in order to get close. Ugh. Really shaking it up, trying to mix the greens up. Need to get one of those little mixers that shake it around. Could the silver wash work over the silver plastic? Yeah, silver wash could work. That could be something you could do. But check it out. Look how close this actually already looks to the classics. I mean, it's not exact. I could probably use a little more black wash on it, but it's pretty cool. It's getting kind of close. Maybe after it dries, I might do a second coat of black wash on it. We shall see. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can get this green out. Even all it's shaking, it's still not mixed that great. So I'll go ahead and finish the mix right here on my little cup. Okay, let's see. I just want to do just the ribbons of shame. Hopefully this dries darker once it's done. Normally I do a small spot and see how it comes out, but so for those that don't know what ribbons of shame are, if you watch the movie Gung Ho with Michael Keaton, it's a really fun watch. In there, they talk about the ribbons of shame. And it always cracks me up. So when I'm at work, I'll make jokes about it sometimes to people when they do something wrong. I'll say, go put on your ribbon of shame. Yeah, this one guy, he was actually from a different location. He's a number of states away from me. I told him I was going to mail out his ribbon of shame so he can wear it proudly when he goes out shopping. Look for it in your mail, man. The ribbon of shame. I like to use these angled brushes. So you can use a tip to be close, or you can use the whole thing. You want a fatty brush. So that is my goal, is to use... I have to ask my wife and my friends many times for Christmas and birthdays, hey, you're going to buy me paintbrushes? Get me the angled ones, please. A little more versatile on where you're going to use them, how you're going to use them. All right, so we got one stripe done. On to the second stripe. This one's a little bit thinner. You have to paint those happy stripes. All right. Oh, sorry about that. I'm probably out of camera frame, aren't I? I can't look and see what the camera's doing at the same time when I'm trying to paint. So I apologize if I get out of the camera frame. You know, I'll just angle this now. That way I know when I start leaning over, you guys can still see it. You know what would have been kind of fun is to actually redo it in blue instead of green and paint over the green to make it blue so he has a different color motif than Snake Armor He-Man. Oh well. Too late. It's going green. Not too shabby for country boys. All right. Is it the most perfect paint job in the world? Not really. But I think it's coming out fine. All right, a little bit of double on this one. Double trouble. Now it's hard. They kind of got a strip up here on this one, but it's different. It's not cloth, it's metal looking, so I'm not going to paint that one up there. And then here, it's kind of tricky because it goes right up to that pad right there. I should have grabbed my smaller paintbrush to get those little areas. No. And that is why we have the Q-tips. Scrape off any areas that I botched up on. All right, I got my itty bitty teeny tiny brush now. All right. Just coming through and cleaning up all those little edges. All right, one done, one to go. What do you think? Is that all right? A little bit lighter in green, but That's not going to hurt nothing. It's just the style, man. On to the next one. Still in camera view, good. This would be a really boring video, more than it is now, if I was at a camera view half the time. Especially I'm not even talking, just trying to paint this. You'd be like, what's going on? Why are you watching this video with nothing going on? See, at least when you paint a little bit, you can kind of hear and see something a little bit. I'll have to hit that later on with a small brush. When I come back through with the itty bitty brush. Sometimes it's hard to tell where the sculpt starts and ends for some of these things, because in origin sometimes it's just not super defined. All right, I'm going to grab my teeny weeny brush. Let's clean up these edges. There we go. Hooray. It's just so hard at these small little areas. There we go. Almost done. All right, I think we got it. Hooray. So there we go. He's got his green straps painted now. Not too shabby. All right. Water. Give me some water. This time I'm going to go for a couple more drops. I want a little, whoa, a little too much there. There we go. A couple more drops of black. One, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Let's mix it on up. Get some off the brush. And let's do this helmet. I got way too much on there for the helmet. Yep, way too much. I'll get it on with this brush, and then I will take some off with the other brush that I happen to have right here. Right here. If I was smart, I would have put this on a screwdriver first, like I usually do. But making a video and not really thinking. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Pretty good. Just a little black wash to give it that kick. I'm just going to use a small brush on this one. I give up with the big brush. Of course now oh no, I got way too much on there. Ah! Now I'm out of brushes too. Okay. It's time to paper towel it. Where are my paper towels? Brr, brr, brr. And that looks pretty good there. Look at that. Look at the difference between the black washed one and the non-black washed one. Way cool. Alright. On to this one. If my paint's dry enough, we'll see. I'm going to use the big one so I can just put it on quick. Hoot, 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 hoot. Oh, I got some on his knee. No! Where's my water and my Q-tip? Remember, Q-tips are for emergencies. Whoop. If you waited too long, you'd have to go back with alcohol and fix it. But that worked pretty good. I think that all looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent. Alright, you know what? I'm going to do one just a little more coat on here. Just on the chains and stuff to just really have them pop a little bit more. Oh yeah. It's all looking pretty good now. Alright, let's see your guys' comments. Add wash the loincloth. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I forgot all about the loincloth. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, too much. No. I'll take it off with the paper towel in a minute. Now I want to avoid it on the green spots on here. So we will try to keep some off there. Emergency. Got some on my red. And let's just dab it with the paper towel. Oop, oop. That was a close one. Well, that looks really cool. Thanks for reminding me about the loincloth. I forgot all about it. Alright, so now we're going to do one more little bit of wash. This one's going to be a little more delicate. Let me turn my fan off here. I'm going to use this brown, and this one sometimes goes wrong and sometimes works really well. And I got this dark green wash. It's kind of cool. There it is, black green. Oh yeah, that does look better. I'll put some up here on this, on our ties too. Way better. Just to kind of get those shoulders to pop a little bit. But again, you gotta be very careful how much you use on here because it can go crazy on you. Just a few prime places. Just like that. I think that looks pretty good. And of course, doing the same with the legs too. Just a little bit of wash on there, not a lot. All right, and now for his chest. Do the abs area. Under the chest. And again, just really light on here. You don't want to do a whole bunch. Just enough to offset it a little bit. Now, here's the scary part. On his head. Now, for his head, I actually want to do a little more wash because it's not even the right color. So we're going to go ahead and recolor Steve Austin to a little bit darker brown. That's way too much. Too much, man. Too much. Need some more water. Burp. There we go. There we go. You know what? He's going on the end of the paintbrush. Ugh. Much closer to the color. Look at that. Woo! That's why I love these inks. You can just change the tint of something or the color of something slightly without having to repaint everything. Hey, how's that? A little bit closer to the color match. Maybe not exact, but closer. So that will work pretty good. This thinks I got a little too much up on top of his head. Let me just wash some of that off. There we go. That looks better. All right, there, Yul Brynner. You're looking pretty good. And you can see the color difference on the inside of the head. That's just how I do it. Little slop here, little slop there, and it all looks better. Alright, let's check out his leg one more time and smooth it out a little bit now that it's starting to dry. Fit, fit, fit. There we go. All right, now that he's all painted up, you can see it looks pretty cool. All the paint, it's all dry and stuff. We could use this axe. This axe is okay. But if we want to get a little more classics looking, we could go with using a classics weapon. Like this is from the weapons pack. That looks pretty cool. Oh! My favorite though, we can use this axe right here. That's not bad. My favorite though is this axe right here. I think it matches great. It's got a lot of the same coloring as the armor now that we've darkened it. So there we go. That is the finished figure. I like how he looks. I think he looks really good. I think he fits right in well with classics. He could just be a dwarf amongst... And he's not that much shorter, really. I mean, I know people at work that are this short compared to me, and I know people that are taller than me too, so let's go ahead and do a final comparison so you guys can see that what the paint actually did. So here is the unpainted version and here's the painted version. And you can really see a difference. Let me turn on this extra light here. Stand, man. These guys are just a hard time standing. Let me turn on my AA light. And you can really see the difference that black wash brought out in comparison. And then also putting the wash on his head really makes a difference too. So you can just see how much different the paint apps did. Having that black wash on there and even on his skin, doing the wash on his arms and stuff just made it look more like it's a classics figure. Even the helmet, you can tell a difference in him too. This is our washed one, obviously, and our unwashed one. So with all that washing, he just looks more gritty and looks more like he'd fit in with the classics line than this figure does. Alright, well that is the end of our video. Thanks for joining me, and good journey.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it.